Did you know that not all pigs are as harmless as they look? Some spend their whole life in a muddy pen, oinking for food, completely unbothered by the world. But others charge at lions, carry tusks sharp enough to kill a grown man, or belong to a species so strange that its own teeth can eventually grow into its skull. In this video, we count down 8 of the most dangerous pigs on the planet, from the wild boar tearing through farmland to a species with a reputation so dark that certain criminal organizations have reportedly used it to make evidence disappear completely. Stay until the very end, because the last pig on this list isn't dangerous because of its tusks or its speed. It's dangerous because of what it's willing to eat. Let's start with the one most people already know, but seriously underestimate. Across Europe, North America, and Asia, wild boars are quietly becoming one of the most destructive, invasive animals alive. An adult male can weigh over 250 pounds and carries curved tusks that keep growing throughout its life, sharpen every time the upper and lower tusks grind against each other. When cornered, a wild boar doesn't run. It charges, and those tusks can open a wound deep enough to sever an artery in seconds. In parts of the southern United States, wild boar attacks on hunters and hikers are reported almost every year, and wildlife agencies now treat large boar populations as a genuine public safety issue, not just a farming nuisance. Here's the part that surprises people. Boars are also frighteningly intelligent. Studies have shown they can learn to avoid traps after a single encounter, coordinate as a group when threatened, and remember locations of food sources for months. If a boar this common is already this dangerous, imagine what the pig built specifically to fight off lions is capable of. The African savanna hides a pig that looks almost comical, with wart-like bumps on its face and thin, wiry hair. But don't let the look fool you. The common warthog is one of the few animals in Africa that will stand its ground against the pride of lions. Its main weapon is a pair of curved tusks that can reach nearly 2 feet long, capable of slashing an attacking predator open in a single motion. Warthogs have been documented fighting off leopards and even killing hyenas that got too close to their young. When the warthog can't fight, it has a backup plan. It drops to its knees and shuffles backward into its burrow, tusks facing outward, turning the entrance into a wall of blades. Very few predators are willing to reach into that. Local farmers in parts of Africa treat warthogs with real caution, not because they're aggressive by nature, but because a cornered warthog is one of the most unpredictable animals you can encounter. But the next pig on this list doesn't just fight predators. It's the largest wild pig species alive, and its sheer size alone makes it a different kind of threat. Deep in the dense rainforests of Central Africa lies the largest wild pig on Earth. The giant forest hog can weigh over 600 pounds, roughly the size of an adult grizzly bear, with thick black bristled fur and bony ridges on its face that act like natural armor. Unlike the warthog, the giant forest hog rarely seeks conflict. It's shy, mostly nocturnal, and prefers to disappear into thick vegetation before anything sees it. But when threatened, especially a mother protecting her piglets, its sheer mass becomes the weapon. A charge from an animal this size can break bones without a single bite. Researchers who study giant forest hogs in the wild often describe them as ghosts of the forest, heard more than seen, moving in complete silence despite their enormous size. That combination, invisible until it's too late, is exactly what makes an encounter with one so dangerous. If size alone can make a pig this formidable, imagine one that looks almost cute from a distance, but has a temper that says otherwise. At first glance, the Red River hog looks like it belongs in a children's book. Bright orange red fur, a black and white striped face, and tall tufted ears give it an almost cartoonish appearance. It's frequently one of the most popular animals at zoos, precisely because it looks so harmless. But in the wild, across the forests and swamps of West and Central Africa, Red River hogs are known for aggressive territorial behavior, especially the males. They travel in tight family groups, and any perceived threat, human or animal, can trigger a coordinated charge from multiple hogs at once. Their tusks are shorter than a warthog's, but their bite force and raw aggression make up for it. Wildlife rangers in several African reserves have reported that Red River hogs are responsible for more close encounters with tourists than lions, simply because visitors assume something this colorful must be safe to approach. That assumption, that a pretty animal must be a gentle one, is exactly the kind of mistake that gets people hurt. And the next pig on this list takes that same lesson even further. Across sub-Saharan Africa, Farmers dread a very specific sound after dark, the grunting of an approaching bushpig herd. These nocturnal pigs travel in groups of up to a dozen, raiding crops, destroying fences, and defending their territory with surprising ferocity. Bushpigs are omnivores with a genuinely broad diet. They'll eat roots, fruit, insects, small reptiles, and even carrion when they find it. That flexibility makes them incredibly hard to control, since they can survive almost anywhere there's food. What makes them dangerous isn't just their tusks, it's their willingness to fight predators far larger than themselves. Bushpigs have been recorded driving off leopards from a kill, using their weight and aggression rather than raw size to win the confrontation. For farmers who lose entire seasons of crops overnight, and for the leopards that occasionally lose a meal to an animal a fraction of their size, the bushpig has earned a reputation as one of the most stubborn, relentless pigs in the animal kingdom. But stubbornness is nothing compared to what's coming next, a species whose herd defense strategy has actually proven fatal to humans. Technically not a true pig, the javelina, or collared peccary, is close enough in behavior and reputation to earn its spot on this list. Found across the American Southwest and Central America, javelinas travel in herds of up to 20 animals, and that number is exactly what makes them dangerous. Individually, a javelina is small, rarely more than 60 pounds. But when one is threatened, its entire herd responds instantly, surrounding the threat and attacking as a coordinated unit. Their sharp canine teeth, technically not true tusks but functionally just as dangerous, can slash through skin and muscle in a single strike. In cities across Arizona and Texas, javelina encounters with pet dogs have sent several animals to emergency veterinary care, and there are documented cases of javelina herds injuring humans who got between them and their young, or who cornered them accidentally in a backyard or trail. The lesson here is simple. It's never about the size of one pig, it's about how many are willing to come to its defense at once. And that brings us to a pig whose defense mechanism is so strange, it's genuinely hard to believe it evolved naturally. On a handful of Indonesian islands lives one of the strangest looking mammals on the planet. The babirusa, sometimes called the deer pig, has tusks that don't grow out of its mouth like a normal pig. Instead, the upper canines grow straight upward, piercing through the top of its own snout and curving backward toward its face. In rare cases, if a babirusa's tusks are worn down naturally through fighting or foraging, they can keep growing in a curve so extreme that they pierce straight into the animal's own skull, which can be fatal. Scientists believe this bizarre trait may have originally evolved as a display feature to attract mates or intimidate rivals, essentially a natural weapon that came with a serious design flaw. To humans, babirusas aren't typically aggressive, they're shy and elusive, rarely seen outside protected reserves. But males fighting each other over territory or mates use those upward tusks in dramatic sparring matches, rearing up on their hind legs and clashing headfirst, tusk against tusk. It's one of the only animals on Earth whose own body can become a threat to itself. But the final pig on this list isn't dangerous to itself. It's dangerous because of a disturbing use humans have found for it. This is the one I promised you. If you've ever watched a crime thriller where a character disappears without a trace, supposedly fed to pigs on a farm, that's not just Hollywood fiction. It's based on something disturbingly real about pig biology. Domestic pigs are extreme omnivores. In the wild and on farms, they're known to eat almost anything organic, including bones, given enough time and a large enough group. Pig stomach acid is powerful, and a hungry pig will not hesitate at what most other farm animals would refuse. This biological fact has surfaced in real criminal investigations. One of the most widely reported cases involved a Canadian pig farmer convicted of multiple murders, where investigators found evidence suggesting human remains had been fed to pigs on the property, a detail that later inspired several films and TV dramatizations, including scenes referencing British gangster culture, where rumors have long circulated about pig farms being used to make bodies disappear completely. To be clear, this isn't a common occurrence, and law enforcement experts note that the process is messier and less reliable than fiction portrays. Pigs would need days and enormous amounts of food to consume something that size, and bones, teeth, and other evidence often survive regardless. But the fact that this myth is rooted in real biology and real court cases is exactly what makes it so unsettling. A farm animal, standing in the mud, oinking for its next meal, capable of erasing evidence that even fire struggles to destroy completely. So there they are, 8 pigs that prove you should never judge an animal by how ordinary it looks in a barnyard. From tusks that grow into their own skull, to a species criminals have reportedly used to dispose of evidence, Pigs might be the most underestimated animals on this entire channel. Which of these 8 surprised you the most? Was it the babirusa's self-piercing tusks, or the domestic pig's disturbing reputation? Tell me in the comments. I rate every single one. If this video changed the way you look at pigs forever, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel grow. And if you want more stories like this, subscribe and turn on a notification bell so you never miss the next one.